Oh, well, it's the YouTube race recap of shame. I went to France. I did a massive training camp, biggest training camp of my life. It went really, really well. And then I traveled to Sanremo, Italy, just like a 90-minute drive or a little more from Nice. And yeah, I was set to do Challenge Sanremo. Long story short, I DNF'd. First time ever that I have started a triathlon and failed to finish. And it sucks. It sucks. I still think it was the right decision, although I'm not positive. But yeah, basically story is, traveled over there. Race week, I always feel pretty terrible, pretty anxious. So, you know, when I felt pretty bad leading into the race, I didn't pay it any mind. But now, kind of looking back, 2-3 days out from the race, I just, I felt worse than normal. But I really attributed it all to just pre-race nerves and anxiety, tiny bit of like a scratchy throat, tiny bit of congestion, which again, like I feel those things through, just nervousness often. So yeah, I really didn't think anything of it. Race morning, I got up, really struggled to get food down, felt super nauseous, which is like not normal for me. I usually don't have much trouble eating in the morning before a race. And then felt kind of lightheaded and woozy before the swim, but again, thought I was just like super nervous. The swim didn't go well, 5 minutes behind the leaders or something, which is pretty bad, but it didn't feel like it was going that bad. I don't know. The whole memory of it is kind of hazy. It's like weird to look back on. Don't even want to do this recap, but highs and lows. Yeah, and then I got on the bike and just had no legs. Sometimes I guess you can just tell, but I tried to keep a positive attitude. There was a pack just up ahead, tried to put my head down and catch up to them, and I couldn't. And I tend to not have my computer on. I just kind of turn the screen to the timer so I don't see any data. And I looked and I wasn't even pushing 300 watts, which is like, it's pretty bad. Kind of started getting passed up the first climb by a couple guys and wasn't really making much progress on other people, which I definitely really expected to. It was pretty demoralizing. I really was just trying to hang with whoever was coming by. And then by the time we got to the second climb, and again, I was just not even checking my power meter at that point, because I knew I wasn't gonna like what I saw. By the time we got to the second climb, which was a super long, 45-minute climb if you do it quick, and I just was struggling to turn the pedals over. I did have my 58 tooth chainring, which if I had another chainring, I would have run a slightly smaller one, probably a 54, but I don't have one. And I was fine getting up the first climb, which was super steep. I just didn't have legs. The deeper into the bike course I got, the more I just felt like sick, just really awful. And the race is gone by that point. You're not really competing anymore. You're just maybe trying to get something decent out of yourself. And yeah, I got back to transition and found Iris, and I was, asking like, should I even finish this? Because like, I know I can go out and run 13 miles, sick as a dog. It's not an achievement for me to finish the race anymore. She was just like, no, respect your body. And I kind of realized that the main reason I would have not wanted to DNF is because I would worry what other people think of me, when I say on social media or whatever, like, oh, I DNF'd, which I realize is a stupid reason not to do it. So like, I'm not broken up about the DNF. I'm more so broken up about just, how went. It sucks, you spend all that money to go there hoping to have a good result. I had a really, really good training camp and maybe was a little bit tired coming off of it, but I felt pretty good the whole time. I was training well the whole time. Maybe the super high volume, low intensity isn't setting me up for a great race regardless, but it's just any way you spin it. It's just to go there and have that happen, which sucks. But the main point of going to France was to have this training camp, and the training camp went amazing. The way coach described it was, this is the training block to get you ready for the real training block, which is the 70.3 Worlds training block, which as of yesterday is exactly 10 weeks away. I wouldn't have been able to make it happen without the help of Ketone IQ, an amazing brand that I'm blessed to be partnering with. When I'm home and I have shipments, choice shipments of ketones, I have 2.5 shots pretty much every single day. When I went to Europe, I only brought 3 of these because I could only fit so much in my checked luggage, and I just had 2.5 shots after my biggest days. I really feel like it just gives me an edge in my performance, in my recovery. And yeah, for me, it's a no-brainer. I mean, yes, it is definitely expensive, but I would highly recommend doing what I did in Europe, which is buying 3 of these. Should last you, if you take 2 shots after your biggest days, that'll last you 15 days. If you have 3 really big days a week, that's 5 weeks. So you can really make it stretch. And in my opinion, that's the best bang for your buck and how most people should use Ketone IQ. If you can afford to buy it every single day, definitely do that. The research backs it up. My experience backs it up. Go to my landing page, ketone.com/Ari. You'll get 30% off your first subscription order, and go get yourself hooked. Yeah, so that's it. I didn't want to make a long video. I just felt like it's something to address because in a way it is a milestone. You can always reach higher highs, and you can also always reach lower lows. And this was definitely a very low low. Like the rest of the day and the next day and the day after that, after a DNF, God, you just feel like an absolute piece of shit. You just feel like a goddamn piece of shit. And you're like, why did I even come here? I wouldn't go so far as to say I start to doubt everything, but yeah, it's tough. And the only solution is just to get stuck back into training and find that hunger and that motivation to find out how good you can be. And so that's where I am. There's a small pro field at this race in South Carolina, Edisto Island, and I hope to bag my first pro win. So let's get to it. Thank you for watching and supporting, everybody, as always. And yeah, have a good day.